So we ended up seeing that bounce to the upside, where we ended up getting rejected at the 200 DMA. And this is following on from reaching this region here that I talked about previously between 64.9 cents to 67.25 cents. And I mentioned how ADA could actually be bearish, and there is potential for us to go slightly deeper within this region here between 54.37 cents to 66.46 cents. And the worst case scenario would be that we break this local low at 51.1 cents and go slightly deeper towards this range here between 35.7 to 44.81 cents, which would then complete the wave 2, made up of a bigger WXY structure. And you can see that we ended up tapping into this region here. And so it's possible that this WXY structure is now complete, and then we see that bounce to the upside. And so the next key level really to be keeping an eye on would be this level again at 74.6 cents, which is a key level of resistance and support. And so if ADA was to retest this level, then, ideally, I'd like ADA to find support, which would then confirm that we're bullish, and then we see that bounce to the upside. However, if we get rejected, then that would then confirm that we are bearish, and then we could potentially see a deeper move to the downside. And so looking at this structure, what's interesting is we do have a 5-wave move within this move to the upside, where essentially this is our wave 1, followed by wave 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we have this move to the downside made up of a WXY structure, like so. And so this move here is interesting because this could potentially be a leading diagonal to complete the wave 1, followed by a wave 2, and then we have a wave 3, 4, and 5 that could play out. Essentially like so. And so ideally, for us to be bullish, then we need ADA to reach the 1.618 retracement level of this wave structure here. So if I bring in the fib tool, and put this into the right position. So ideally, I'd like ADA to reach this region here at 73.32 cents. And that would then confirm that we have a 5-wave move to the upside, with this being our wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, like so. And so that would then mean that it's possible that this wave structure is now complete to the downside, and we get to see that bounce to the upside. However, you can see that we ended up reaching the 1 to 1.226 retracement level. So if I just remove this and this for now, and zoom in, so you can see that we met the typical requirements for the Y wave, and so it's possible that we have a WXY structure also. And so if ADA was to break this level, then that would then confirm that this is actually a WXY structure as opposed to a 5-wave move, because in a 5-wave move, what you can't have is the wave 4 cross the wave 1 or the wave 2 origin. And so I'm not sure if we've actually broken. Yeah, we actually ended up crossing the wave 1. So it looks like a WXY structure is actually formed as opposed to a 5-wave move. And so with that being the case, then ADA could potentially retrace between that 50 to 88.2% retracement level. So anywhere between 66.02 cents to, if I bring this up, 68.01 cents, so anywhere within this region here. So we could potentially actually find support at that 50 EMA and then see that bounce to the upside to complete a bigger WXY structure. So if I draw that in, essentially what's playing out right now is something to this effect, and then we could potentially get rejected at that 74.6 cent mark. And yeah, if we do get rejected, then that will further confirm that we're bearish, and then we could have a potentially bigger WXY structure that's forming, like so, and then ADA has the potential to go slightly deeper within this range here. And if I go on the 4-hour chart, and what you can see is we are overbought. And so again, the bears could potentially take control of the market, and you can see that we ended up getting rejected at the 50 EMA also, which is not exactly a good sign. And smart money concept is indicating that we have a weak low and a strong high. And so on a 4-hour time frame and on the hour time frame, we are looking slightly bearish. And as you can see, smart money concept is indicating that we have a strong high and a weak low. And if I go in a daily chart, what you can also see is that we are oversold. And so the bulls could potentially regain control of the market. And if that's the case, then again, I will be looking for ADA to potentially retest this level at 74.6 cents. And we could potentially get rejected, which would then lead to a deeper move to the downside, where we then potentially tap into this range here. And so, yeah, that's just my quick update on Cardano ADA. Hopefully you found this useful. And if you did, then feel free to hit that like button. And if you're new, feel free to subscribe. Take it easy, people. Peace.